Welcome back to Real Life. I'm Sarah Bernard, and this show is all about buying, selling, and owning real estate, one of my very favorite topics. I'm a realtor myself and also a TV host. And home, being at home, growing up in a home, designing a home, these are some of my favorite topics. But behind the emotional part of that word is a business, and most of us will be involved in it one way or another at some point in our lives. I created the show so we could help you learn the ins and outs of buying and selling homes, financing them, staging them, and living in them, and so much more about real estate. Stay tuned for our latest episode of Real Life with Sarah Bernard. Welcome back to Real Life. I'm Sarah Bernard, and Andrea Lenzen joins me today to muse about our favorite topic, everything real estate. And also joining us is luxury realtor Karen Kelly. And today's show, we're going to focus a lot on careers in the world of real estate. And I wanted to start with careers in home staging, because a lot of people think home staging sounds like a lot of fun, and I know I know you think it's fun. You're doing it every day.
I love it.
But what kind of people can get into home staging? Do you need special training, certification? How did you get into it? Let's start with you.
Well, I got into it because I was in real estate for so long. And
you were a realtor.
I was a realtor, and then I got into new home sales, and I started helping the clients make all their color selections for their new home. And then actually going to their house and say, yeah, you can bring this or you can bring that. So I just thought this is going to be a perfect fit for me to go in. That's when home staging started about 15 years ago. And then I went in and I worked with a company, and I absolutely loved the occupied end of it, dealing with the individuals and the people.
With homes that have people living in them. You always say occupied, but nobody knows what that means.
I know. You're occupied.
Karen
you're
and
occupied
I do.
your home. Yeah, you're
people that are living in it.
Right. People are living in their homes. Definitely.
Yeah, and Karen, you've seen Andrea and other stagers in action.
Yes.
Does it look fun to you as a career?
It does. What I love about Andrea's style is she'll walk in and in the nicest way, she'll tell somebody what they need to do without calling the baby ugly, as they say. You're like, well, that's a nice piece of artwork, but maybe we'll put that away. So I think part of your job becomes counselor too, because you're trying to make sure that you're not offending anybody, but also getting it ready and prepped for sale. And Andrea has come in and done wonders with some of the clients that we have to work with, because again, they truly are so connected to their things, and we're trying to get it ready for anybody to see.
So how did you prepare to be the counselor? Is that part of the training, or is that just naturally you?
Kind of me, but actually being in real estate, you sort of learn how to deal with different types of personalities. But I think that is one of the hardest things when you are dealing with people who are living in their homes, is to deliver the news. And so I think that's where the kind of the training, the empathy needs to come in on how do you have those kind of conversations. And so you really do have to have a certain type of personality to be in that particular type of business.
And what about the design element? Because you're really good at design and seeing what works in a home, making it ready to appeal to buyers, making it look great in photographs. So did you have to get special design training?
I did not, but I pursued going to school just so I would be more educated about it. The difference between real estate and staging is real estate, you have to be licensed. Stagers do not have to be licensed. So we're talking about that there should be some kind of continuing education for stagers, because unfortunately, a lot of people just get into it because it looks like it's going to be fun. But you have to look at it as a true business.
Yeah.
You have to have a financial, a budget, everything. You have to get a logo, a website to decide.
You have to have money to buy
You have to
things,
buy, yeah,
accessories.
absolutely. And you have to decide if your employees are going to be employees or independent contractors. You have to decide how big do you want to be. So there's a lot going into it and just being like fun thing I'm going to do on the weekends.
Yeah, right. So what advice would you give someone who's maybe thinking about being a home stager? Where do they start?
Call me.
Wow.
Call me and I'll talk to them. No, I think they need to start by, there's several online schools that you can go to, and I think that would be one of the first things to do. You can just Google, home staging schools, and there's like 4 or 5 really good ones, and I would do that first and see if that's something that they would be.
So is
appealed
it like online education?
to. Online education on how to become a stager and deciding which route do you want to go. Do you want to do vacant or do you want to do with live-in?
Mm-hmm. And is it something that somebody could do part-time while they're doing something else, like being a real estate agent, or do you recommend that they jump in head first full-time?
Head first, full-time. Definitely, because it's going to be a business.
Right.
And you have to look at it as a business.
And you have to be able to move fast,
Exactly.
carry and pick up a lot of things.
That's true. You also have to lift up, lift weights and things like that. Right?
So it's a full body
It's
experience.
a full body experience. It's very physical also.
And that's a really good point, Karen. Is there anything else that you've noticed just working with stagers of things that would be important?
Yeah, I think that again, it's just everything's always on a timeline and a time crunch, and so it's turning on a dime, and then having the resources and the people to get things done. Because as we know, with real estate, it moves very quickly these days. So you have a team that can come in and make things happen very quickly. But you also, again, you're rolling up your sleeves, and she's doing the work.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and the thing about being a professional stager is you have a list of certified service providers, vendors,
Right.
that you can call on
So
the
you've got to
phone.
know lots of people or
Exactly.
be able to network.
Right.
Yes.
So if you're doing this kind of part-time, you don't have those kind of connections.
Yes.
All right, very good. We got to wrap up, ladies, but thank you so much.
Yes.
This is really, really good stuff. I know it's hard to
I know,
leave, but
I
we got to
know,
say
I
goodbye.
know.
As always, we're here to help you learn about real estate, and it's fun to know many of the different career options that are out there. We have more on that topic coming up later in the show, but first you're going to meet someone that knows a lot about what's going on behind the walls of your home. Stay tuned to meet one of my favorite people. Our next guest will be your favorite guy exactly when you need him. Casey Heinold runs a home heating and cooling business, and he's here today to help us understand more about what really goes on behind the scenes in his world. So Casey, welcome, and Karen's here to join as well to talk about no one's favorite subject, the HVAC system. I mean, it's not that exciting, but you make it exciting, Casey.
I try to, yes.
Okay, so as homeowners, I don't even know. I own a home. I don't know. I know I'm supposed to change my air filter maybe every 3 months. Does that sound about right?
Yep.
What else do we need to know about running our systems?
One of the biggest things to do as a homeowner is to make sure your filter is clean and replaced, like you said, every 3 months. Another thing, when you go into the springtime, you want to check to make sure your condensing unit is clean, free of debris. So if you have any trees, grass, anything around there that's obstructing the airflow, you want to make sure you remove that so it can breathe a little bit
Okay,
better.
so the condensing unit is the piece that's outside the box.
correct.
Okay,
Yep.
you got to speak our language,
Yep,
Casey.
absolutely. Yes,
right,
I'm
Karen,
sorry. It
did you
is-
know what that was?
No.
Okay, Casey.
No.
So
Bring it
that
down.
is
Oh, right.
the condensing unit sits outside,
Okay.
and that's pretty much the heart of your system.
Okay.
And if it can't breathe, it's going to hurt your efficiency of the
So
unit.
leaves and stuff like that, just brush it
Absolutely.
off.
Yep. Usually, typically, what you want to do is come in with a hose, wash it off with the hose, and that will help out tremendously. The air conditioner is, the biggest energy consumer of a home, and if you have a dirty coil, it can essentially cost you up to 30% of your energy bills.
Okay, wow. So, and the coil is in that unit?
Yes,
the
it is.
condenser?
The coil goes all the way around your condensing unit, and that is where the air gets brought into your unit and cools down your house, basically.
Okay, Karen, have you ever hosed off your condenser unit?
No,
Okay.
no, and never will.
No, yes, you will now.
No, I'm just gonna. I'm saying that I think that it's most valuable to have the annual services, right?
Absolutely.
That's the way to do this. So you would come out and do that for
Absolutely.
me. So
Most-
that's what I would do, Sarah.
Okay, the-
Yes.
Okay,
Most
I'm right there with you.
Most contractors offer a maintenance agreement to where they come out and they take care of that for you.
Which prolongs the life of everything.
Absolutely.
So yeah. So and then when we go into houses as realtors, the stuff that like I'm sure you see too much stuff around the units. Talk about that. That it is not a storage bin around your appliance.
Absolutely. You don't want to keep flammables around your furnace inside the home due to the fact that that can cause issues. Again, you want to have a certain amount of space for your system to be able to breathe. And if you don't, you're just restricting airflow, and it's going to hurt the efficiency of the unit.
And what's the average lifespan now of a unit?
They've gotten better over the years, but you're around 15 to 20 years if you're performing the proper maintenance.
Okay. Do you ever see them lasting longer?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We've got customers that are lasting, 35 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the efficiency is less than the new stuff out these days, but with proper maintenance, you can keep them lasting for quite a while.
So if when your heat goes out, it stops working, your air conditioner, what's that usually attributed to? Is that poor maintenance or does that just happen?
I would say 70% of the time it is a maintenance related issue. It could be something as simple as a filter was very dirty and made the unit shut off. Condenser coil, again, that's outside, could be another issue. And just general maintenance. Flame sensors on a furnace can fail and you just need to clean them.
So, and I heard once that you're not supposed to just turn off your air conditioner. If you go on vacation, some people, I think, well, okay, me, I've been inclined to just turn it off if it's not super hot outside. Is that a bad idea? I think I've heard it's not good for the system.
Typically, we recommend setting it 5 to 7 degrees below what you normally run it at.
Okay.
When you come back, that air conditioner or the furnace is going to run harder to get back up to that space, and now your walls, your furniture in the home has to be heated or cooled back down to that set point. It just makes it run a little bit harder for that time if you shut it off.
Okay, so maybe don't shut it off.
I would not recommend shutting it
Yeah.
off. I'd just turn it down a little bit.
And
Okay.
is the trend obviously everybody connecting to their phone, and so wherever you're at, you're adjusting those temperatures. So that's obviously one of the trends that you've embraced and are using in your business.
Absolutely. The new technology with being able to have a Wi-Fi thermostat where you can, when you're leaving your vacation spot, you can just go ahead and adjust your temperature to whatever you want. It's great
It's
to have.
amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really cool. Okay, so shifting gears a little bit, Casey, I heard this story about a recent maintenance issue that you had at a home that
Yes.
wasn't exactly attributable to the furnace.
Sure. One thing I would recommend to homeowners when you go to clean supply registers, floor vents, whatever it may be, make sure you put the covers back on. We had a circumstance a little while back where a family pet, it was a gerbil, I believe, crawled down into the hole and was inside the ductwork for a little while. So we had to go rescue it, remove the ductwork, and save the gerbil.
Save the gerbil.
How'd you find it?
So you can take apart the ductwork and then look which way. There's pretty much a main trunk that runs down through.
And it was there?
It was inside
Living? Did he have a little nest?
there. He had only been missing for about 2 hours, and so we're able to locate him and save him.
Casey's a hero.
You are.
We had a
the
hamster.
gerbil rescuer.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Your job is multifold. We had when my kids were young, we had a hamster that was more than 2 hours. I think it was 2 months. He would come out at night from the ductwork and get food, go back, and he eventually appeared, but he lived there quite well for a long time.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Coming out at night. All right. Well, Casey, thank you so much for joining us
Sarah.
today. Karen, thank you as well for joining us.
Absolutely.
And we hope you guys keep coming back for more.
Absolutely.
Casey Heinel knows his stuff, and I'm glad that you had a chance to meet him today. Don't go away, because as we mentioned at the top of the show, we're going to learn more about careers in real estate on today's show. Stay tuned for some fantastic guests coming up next. Lots of people dream about getting into real estate as a career, and I know from experience that it's a lot more than visiting and showing beautiful homes. It's a business with many, many details and legalities. Today I invited two realtors, Amy Barra and Angie Denson, to join us to tell us about their paths to real estate as a career. Welcome, Amy and Angie. So glad you could both be here today. So you all both, each of you got into real estate after having worked in other industries. And I'm curious as to what that path was and what the similarities are. So Amy, why don't we start with you? What led you into real estate?
Well, I'd always been in the building arena, handling building materials. And my husband and I, we have flipped some houses. And people always said to me, Amy, have you thought about real estate? And, and I had, but it was a timing deal where I was in between careers, and it's like, well, what's next? And I was like, I'm going to get my real estate license. And so here I am today.
So how long ago was that?
That was 3.5 years ago.
Okay. And how do you like it?
I love it, but I will tell you, it is a lot more work than I thought it was.
Okay, what did you think it was? When you thought about
of course,
maybe?
I thought like, oh, you get to go see all these beautiful homes, and I thought that was pretty much your job, or taking buyers, taking them to homes and helping them buy a house, not thinking at all about the back end of this business.
And that's a small part of it, because then there's the whole transaction of once they pick a home, all of the contract work that has to happen, plus everything that you have to do to build your business as well.
Right. Mm-hmm. And the other thing too is it is not 9 to 5.
That is true.
It is, so that was, that took some getting used to.
So you have to be ready to work sometimes 7 days a week, long hours, that kind of thing. Angie, what about you? What was your experience getting in? And I can tell you're agreeing with many of the things Amy's talking about. So how did you get into real estate?
So my parents actually used to flip houses when I was younger, and I used to watch them doing it. But oddly enough, I never considered real estate until someone who was an investor who also renovated homes and sold them invited me to come help build her business. And she kept pushing for me to get my license as a real estate agent, and I kept saying, no, I don't want to do this.
So you were working more on the marketing side of someone
Right.
else's real estate business.
Yes.
Okay.
But she just kept inviting me to experience the more and more of the process and taught me more and more about it. I got very excited, and all of a sudden I realized, wait, I used to watch my parents do this. This is exciting, and I got the bug, and it was 100% from there on.
And your background prior to real estate, your professional background, what industry were you in?
Marketing and business development.
Okay, and you were in sales. So both of you had jobs that maybe were more 9 to 5 at some point,
Yes.
and but there has to be a little bit of an entrepreneurial spirit in each of you, because to be a real estate agent, you're managing your own business, and so you have to have some business acumen to do that. Would you agree?
Agreed.
Definitely.
Yeah, and you have to, you're building a business beyond a business, and everything. There's accounting and taxes and things that are very different when you're an entrepreneur. That I'm not sure I computed on that. I would be responsible for all that, but I did find the things that I'm not good at, and I'm hiring out those pieces.
Yeah, and you figure it out, right? You
Yeah.
figure it out, but it's not for everyone.
No.
And it's not. It's a fun industry, but it's a lot of work as well.
Yeah.
And there's things that people don't think about,
Right.
like you all
Right.
just mentioned. So if you were going to give advice to somebody about whether or not it might be a good career choice for them, what are some of the things that you would suggest, Angie?
Well, I think if you're a good listener, I think that's really important, because you're dealing with clients day in and day out, and you have to, sometimes you're yelled at for no reason other than they're having an emotional day, and just, having tough skin is really important. And if you're okay with just being there, helping people and being on their emotional journey with them, and that's something that you feel comfortable with, then the excitement of it all and helping people's dreams come true is really it's a beautiful thing to witness.
So I love that one of the first thing, you said, is you have to be a good listener. So if and not everyone is. It's not everybody's cup of tea to be
Right.
that counselor to others,
Yeah.
right? Through
Right.
their emotional journey, as you
Yes.
mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amy, what else do you have to add to that?
I also think that, people go to a CPA for their finances, and they go to a financial planner. Being a real estate agent, I know that it's very important that I'm educated on what is going on in the real estate market, what's going on in the economy, because people are looking at us, as the expert.
Right.
And I want to be sure that I'm able to give them the information that they need.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Staying on top of the market and the trends is so important.
So somebody who likes to learn,
Yes.
and likes to keep learning, because things change, and
Right. And
like
it
any
is-
industry.
it is a very emotional purchase. I mean, it's one of their largest purchases that someone will make, and so it's just trying to be that voice of reason when the emotions get kind of high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Angie, how did you get your real estate license? What method did you use? I know you can go in person to classes, you can do it online. What did you do?
I did it online, and I went through a website, and I was doing that on the side of working full time. I would do it a little differently. I'd probably go into a classroom setting at this point, just because then you're not doing it late at night and falling asleep. That was my journey.
I feel
It took
like
me
you
a lot longer.
A better student go into the classroom. So thank you both for being here today. Appreciate hearing about your careers. I'm sure everybody does as well. So thank you.
Thanks, Sarah.
Choosing a career is not always easy, and Amy and Angie showed us how different roads might lead to the same place. Don't go away, because we're going on location next to see real life tips for transforming a home for the real estate market. I'm Sarah Bernard. Hi, Andrea. We're
Hi, Sarah.
back. We're back
We're
on
back again.
location,
Yes.
working in this house that we've been transforming. So today we're going to tackle the dining room. So this
Exactly.
is a house that the seller is getting ready to sell. The owner, I should say, is getting ready to sell it. She wants to get it ready for the marketplace to make it appealing to buyers. So we're neutralizing the space, getting rid
Exactly.
of personal things, bringing it up to date, and modernizing it a bit.
Modernizing
So-
it with accessories.
Yeah.
By working with their furniture, we can modernize it by adding
Yeah,
different
so
artwork.
if you've been following us, Andrea Lenzen has an amazing eye. And so most of us
Thank
walk
you.
into a space and don't know what to do with it. She knows exactly what to do. So we're going to see her get to work right now.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, Andrea,
Yes.
yet again, it looks amazing. Oh my gosh, this room looks so much brighter
It
and more
does,
open.
doesn't
and
it?
yes, so
I can't get over
tell
it.
us a little bit, tell our viewers what you did. You walked
Okay.
in, you saw the space, which really was a dining room, but looked like kind of a place to just
Put your stuff.
Put your stuff.
Yeah, and she has beautiful hardwood floors, so by removing the rug, which was dark, really opened up the space even more. And removing a couple of the chairs, bringing in some big bright pieces of artwork, just made all
it
difference.
transformed the space.
Transformed.
So, and it's just another example of how you can, when you're getting your house ready for the market, it helps sometimes to bring in more neutral accessories. You can use your furniture, your existing
Right.
furniture, get rid of your personal stuff, bring in things that modernize the space, open it up, make it brighter, and it really changes the way people look at it when they walk in. So great job again.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
excited. Stay with us on our next episode of Real Life. We're going to finish the final room of this same house and take you through the whole transformation there. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you soon.